Hello there, and welcome to a very special bonus episode of 6 Degrees of Star Wars, the podcast where we normally explore all the ways George Lucas's flagship franchise surrounds us, binds us, and penetrates us in the landscape of cinema. I'm your host, Sam Marchioni, joined today by recurring guests Jasmine Garcia, Ellie McConaughey, Gillian Quigley, and Leif Bradshaw, and today is December 18th, 2025, which means that 10 years ago, on this day, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, was released in the United States following its December 14th premiere in Hollywood. Woo! 10 years old!
Damn, no! We are not bringing that energy into this.
That's the reference you went. Actually, oh no, Ellie's formulating a thought about how that's a really appropriate. Stop me, Sam. Come put a gun in me. In my head.
Yeah. So, congratulations, 8-year-olds who saw this. You're old. You're adults.
Yeah. Jesus.
I think 18-year-olds are a little young for you to try to power word age them, Sam.
No one is safe from power word age, Ellie. If I have to feel it in my knees and my back, then so do they. And you know, The Force Awakens can toddle off to 5th grade or whatever. Now, ideally, we would have been able to do a proper episode reviewing Force Awakens for the podcast proper. Unfortunately, because of how I structure the releases so that we're staggering out the trilogies as much as possible, only doing them on May the 4th and in December, that didn't pan out. Shout out to the Revenge of the Sith episode, which has dropped. But we wanted to do something to mark the occasion, so we are here to give a toast to the actors of the sequel trilogy specifically. There is so much lore to go into about the sequels and their production and everything that happened there, but the actors went through a lot of shit, and we want to bring the energy that they deserve to have. So let's start out by just giving a quick shout out, a round of applause to our cast, starting with John Boyega as Finn. Woo! 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 Daisy Ridley as Rey.
Woo!
Daisy Ridley, I'm free on Thursday. I am free on...
Does she like women?
Boyfriend, Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron.
Congrats on Frankenstein.
Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo. Spoilers for a 10-year-old movie.
Everyone's favorite generator of a wall crater.
Domhnall Gleeson as Armitage, General Armitage Hux, my god.
Armitage?
You know what?
Okay.
You know what? I can see I can see how this happened. I can see how his whole character happened then.
Hey, the Clone Wars cartoon had a character who looked like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and his canonical name is Shaggy.
Oh my god.
Okay, but that was Gendy Tartakovsky being cheeky. Anyway, back to it. The absolute incomparable icon of gender, the one and only Lupita Nyong'o as Maz Kanata.
Hell yeah!
Andy Serkis as Supreme Leader Snoke and whatever other shenanigans he's getting up to, because he's Andy fucking Serkis.
Narrating the Lord of the Rings trilogy, of course.
Gwendolyn Christie, I'm free on Thursday as Captain Phasma.
I'm free on Friday. I have to keep Thursday open for Daisy Ridley.
And we also want to give a shout out. She's not technically in what one might consider the principal cast, but it feels wrong not to include her. Billie Lourd, daughter of Carrie Fisher, keeper of the Leia legacy as Kadel Connix.
Please escape Ryan Murphy projects. Please escape them.
Shout out Booksmart, she was amazing in that.
I would also like to shout out Daniel Craig as Stormtrooper 007.
With the impeccable line delivery of, and I will drop my weapon.
Actually, you know what? I'll just say it right now. John Boyega and Oscar Isaac, I'm free on Monday and Tuesday.
Yes! Good. A good chunk of this cast can get it. I think we can agree on that.
I thought this was an appreciation episode, not a thirst episode.
The line between thirst and appreciation is a thin one indeed, and as we've established many, many times across this podcast, only a Sith deals in absolutes.
I shipped those two together pretty much from the beginning.
Yeah, you're not alone. Oscar Isaac did too.
Yeah.
Energetically.
They have such good chemistry.
OT3.
OT3. OT3.
Jedi Storm Pilot. Mwah. That is where my shit lives, but I do enjoy when ships will actually be okay with the they all have two hands thing. And I also just loved how John and Oscar and Daisy had this very clear rapport with one another. Like, I love seeing, I think there was a video where, like, John was pretending to be a hero in a period drama, writing angsty letters to Oscar Isaac.
My dearest Oscar, I hope this letter finds you well. It's been a fortnight since we last spoke, and I must admit that I've missed you so.
It was so fun, and
Oh my goodness.
there was like this clip of all three of them just dancing to the and it lives rent free in my head. It gives me so much joy.
Sam, I can't believe you would go with these characters have two hands when people try to do that to the original Star Wars trilogy, and it's extremely disrespectful to Luke. No one else got me.
Because that's his fucking sister?
I mean, there's also just the fact that he doesn't have two hands.
Yes, he does. A prosthetic counts. A prosthetic counts.
Come on, I'm doing a bit. Let me do my bit. I'm leaving.
Absolutely not. That is River's job.
And your bit implies incest. It kind of ruins it.
I've watched too many Folgers coffee commercials to think that's wrong.
There's more than one?
How dare you?
Back on track, I wanted to take this time to celebrate the actors as people, but also like to give tribute to their performances, because we can have whatever conversations we want to have when we do start talking about The Force Awakens as a movie, but this cast brought it, especially considering that for a lot of them, this was very early in their careers. Like, I talked about it in the prequel trilogy, a lot of why it is the way it is had to do with people being generally inexperienced, especially Jake Lloyd and Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, like putting their trust in their director.
Which was definitely rewarded.
And I think that there's just a kind of raw talent and charisma that goes into it too, and this cast brought it.
They really did.
I've said it before, and maybe it's just because this was actually the first Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters.
Same.
Literally had just graduated college and was very excited to be seated in the theater, and maybe it's because of that, but no, I got so attached to especially Finn, Rey, and Poe as a trio. Like, it just kind of felt like, oh yeah, like, in a way, they're very much like me in that they are young people just really trying to do their best in a very weird situation.
Guys, is that fascism coming back?
It's not that weird.
Yeah, there does seem to be some commentary going on there with the whole thing that's going on with the setup for the conflict.
So, like, what struck me about it, and I did not rewatch The Force Awakens to this movie, but, like, I rewatched it a couple years ago, is, like, I don't think I will be breaking any hearts here when I say that The Force Awakens is a movie that is so obsessed with the past, and the actors are actually there in the original cast is there in The Force Awakens. So the fact is, I felt like, even going into it, like, they're kind of being set up to fail a little bit, and the fact that they managed to be so strong already, especially Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, you know, Oscar Isaac was a little more heavily established at the time Force Awakens came out. He had Inside Llewyn Davis and a weird Ex Machina,
okay,
the weird
but
Madonna
he wasn't
movie.
mainstream yet. He was indie fodder, which is not a bad thing to do, but when your biggest achievements before this movie are niche Alex Garland projects and then playing Prince John in Ridley Scott's god-awful Robin Hood and, like, Sucker Punch and shit.
I would argue that his biggest role at that point was Inside Llewyn Davis, which is, in my opinion, probably the best performance any actor gave that decade. Oscar Isaac.
Also, somehow one of the most depressing Coen Brothers movies.
It is more depressing than No Country for Old Men. I will not elaborate. But, like, Daisy Ridley was barely known by anyone. And John Boyega, like, if you were in the know, you might know Attack the Block. He is extremely good in Attack the Block.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Ron's weed room in this one. But I think that, like, the fact that they managed to be so strong when they had so much riding on them, you know, I've seen much more experienced actors just completely crack under that kind of pressure. I don't know. I think they deserve a lot of credit for, like, what they did, how impressive and engaging they are as characters.
I definitely agree with that. I also sometimes wonder how much credit maybe needs to somewhat go to J.J. Abrams, because say what you want about him, one thing that he's definitely really good at is having faith in the natural talent of the people who gets cast in his movies. Like, people forget the 2009 Star Trek movie he directed. Almost all of that film's cast members in one way or another would go on to become really big deals. But with very few exceptions, unless you were really in the know, you had no idea who almost any of those actors were. Like Chris Pine, maybe if you remember him from Princess Diaries 2, for instance, or maybe if you saw Heroes, you'd know who Zachary Quinto was.
I was going to be offended on his behalf if you hadn't said that.
Exactly, but
I'm a little offended on Carl Urban's behalf. He was in Lord of the Rings.
True, but he wasn't Billy Butcher yet, so... I knew who Carl Urban was because, of course, Lord of the Rings fan, but he wasn't a movie star or anything like that at the time. And that's true for quite a lot of the other people in that cast. And even with this cast, with The Force Awakens, it's interesting how Adam Driver is the one who gets top billing when it comes to the newer cast members. And I wonder how much of that has to do with the fact that he was a lot more established in comparison, because at the very least he had the claim to fame for the show Girls.
I have a lot of feelings about how Adam Driver ended up at the top of the pile. Some of it has to do with him getting Oscar nominations because, he had that amount of leverage. Some of it has to do with production stuff that I don't want to get into because I don't want to get buried in the negativity.
Fair enough.
And I think that another thing to note about J.J. Abrams in all of this is that he seems to have been really good at building rapport with his cast. Like, he went to bat really hard for John Boyega especially. And Boyega has gone on record saying that Abrams is his dude.
Which, considering how Boyega felt about a lot of the rest of the production, that says a lot that he is writing for Abrams. It tells you that, no, Abrams is the real deal.
Truly. Truly.
We can also argue that Adam Driver got top billing because he was in this weird little movie called Inside Llewyn.
Ellie, stop pushing the Inside Llewyn Davis agenda, please.
No.
You will get your turn one day, my God.
It is pretty funny rewatching that movie, seeing Poe Dameron and Kylo Ren collaborating on a goofy early 60s novelty track with Justin Timberlake.
Insane.
Oh, dang.
And that is part of why I started this podcast, folks.
Also, if I had a nickel for every biblical movie Oscar Isaac was in, I'd have 2 nickels.
Which is a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? There.
Thank you.
Okay, is this payback for me making the Love Never Dies joke? You make me remember King of Kings exists.
Oh, man.
So it is kind of funny how he played Jesus' stepdad and Jesus. There's something very funny about that.
And I'm pretty sure I've seen Nativity Story, as a finals week in elementary, middle school, so that was I did not put 2 and 2 together, but...
I think we're
You know who Mary is in Nativity Story? Queen Apollona from Revenge of the Sith.
Nice!
Yep.
I know, it's crazy.
Keisha Castle Hughes, that's right.
Everything is Star Wars. Everything is Star Wars.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's really remarkable the connections that can be found. I mean, from my own point of view, there's a little bit of, in hindsight, tragedy to this at this point. But when it comes to the newer cast members, the one I recognized the most was Domhnall Gleeson. And the reason why was because I recognized him for playing Bill Weasley.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Domhnall because I remember so viscerally coming out of Force Awakens and we were talking, and I am somebody who can actually internalize the characters' names, and so I was talking about General Hux and my dad goes, who? And I throw and I go, the ginger Nazi. And my dad's like, oh yeah, he was good. I'm truly shocked he did not burst a blood vessel or have an aneurysm while he's doing his big scary end of the Republic speech.
That was wild.
Oh my God. The symbolism was so obvious in that scene, even beyond the standards of earlier Star Wars movies, and Domhnall sold it so well. And people say Nepo babies can't be talented.
Who says that?
It's also really fun to watch them. Jazz and I recently did Rise of the Resistance, and we had quite a bit of fun sassing them there too.
Yeah. Oh, I do it every time.
Yeah, viewers, in case you don't know, one of the things that happens in Rise of the Resistance is General Hux showing up to interrogate you as one of a bunch of Resistance spies.
Oh.
And, well, let's just say it's very good fuel for the Kylux shippers.
Oh boy. The tension is too intense. Quick, throw a blue milkshake at him.
If we wanted to be rude about this, which I do, we could talk about how it is interesting that of the actors, Adam Driver got a lot of post-Star Wars opportunities. Oscar Isaac got a lot of post-Star Wars opportunities. Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, not so much.
Yeah. really tragic, honestly.
Wonder what's happening there. Although stay tuned for me dying in my seat when I finally get to watch that Pride and Prejudice thing Daisy Ridley did.
Yeah.
But like Adam Driver is one of those actors who like did Star Wars, and as best I can tell looking at the movies of his I've seen after that is like, well, I'm done doing blockbusters. Bye.
And honestly fair. If you can, why not?
He pulled an Elijah Wood / Daniel Radcliffe / quite a few other people who were just in one big franchise and were like, all right, I'm set for life. I'm just going to do whatever the heck I want from now on.
Heavy recommendation for Logan Lucky. It's a very good movie that he's in, along with other Star Wars Force Awakens cast member Daniel Craig.
I think we would also, though, be remiss if we did not mention Adam Driver's greatest contribution to the Star Wars canon ever.
Matt the technician?
Matt the radar technician.
A buddy of mine saw Kylo Ren take his shirt off in the shower, and he said that Kylo Ren had an 8-pack. That Kylo Ren was shredded.
I'm 90% sure that's actually Kylo Ren.
No, that was great. That was so good.
I enjoy when the actors are able to take the piss out of it. SNL got a lot of leverage out of that, and also I remember like the screen test sketch where they actually got John and Daisy for it, and like I kind of wish John had gotten the host because his whole reaction to
a black stormtrooper. Yeah, right. A black stormtrooper.
and just like poking so much fun at all the people who had been shits about it. That was great. Yeah. It was back when John just seemed to really be enjoying himself.
Yeah, no, I love him in this. He is just so adorable. I just want to hug him all the time in this movie. It's just, she's so precious. Must protect.
Ray, I understand you don't need someone to hold your hand, but maybe he does. He's not doing okay.
And then
I was thinking the same thing.
It was beautiful.
I don't think he's being condescending to you. I think he's just scared.
And then later they hugged, and he had this speech about how you looked at me like no one ever had. Oh my god, my peanuts!
I honestly kind of love both John Boyega and Daisy Ridley's performances. This is gonna sound like I'm being mean, and I'm not. Like they're doing this thing where like, if you step outside of the fact that Star Wars is an extremely pulpy setting, their backstories are horrifying. They're fine. They're like fine. They're fine. It's fine. And like that is a very hard line to walk. It can feel very flippant about really bad shit if you don't play it right. And they're both doing an incredible job. I particularly I wish Daisy Ridley got more action movies. I saw that like window cleaner one she did last year. It's not
did the thing she did with Tom Holland ever get released?
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh no,
it's like legendarily bad. You just have to see it.
Oh wait, no, I think I remember what you're talking about.
Chaos Walking.
Memory holds it.
Yeah, but like Daisy Ridley is such an impressive, engaging physical presence during the action beats. I really wish she got to do more action movies.
You could tell she trained like crazy for this movie in particular.
I do really think that like the dearth of good female-led action movies of the last few years is really starting to wear me down, y'all. I want Daisy Ridley to beat someone up on screen for me in a good movie.
That would be nice. That would be super nice. And what's great is, like, yeah, she does great with the action stuff, but she also, like you said, does really good at towing the line between, my god, her backstory's horrible, but also we were in a fun, pulpy space opera. One of my favorite bits that she did is near the beginning where, you know, she's alone in her little spaceship home and, you know, she's got the helmet on and you could tell, like, she's just winding down after a hard day and trying to have a little bit of fun with it. It's so cute!
Right? And the fact that up until that point she hasn't spoken yet at all. It's all visual storytelling at that point. It's all done through visuals and, of course, through John Williams' ever-impressive skills as a composer. So...
Oh my god, Ellie, Daisy Ridley has a zombie movie coming out.
Wait, what?
Go on.
Daisy Ridley has a zombie movie called Bury the Dead, a zombie survival thriller. It's coming out, scheduled for a theatrical release in the United States, January 2nd, 2026.
Oh.
On the one hand, that sounds interesting. Ooh. On the other hand, an action movie released in January.
Ava Newman, a desperate woman, searches for her husband in the aftermath of a catastrophic military experiment. Hoping to find him alive, she joins a body retrieval unit, but her search takes a chilling turn when the corpses she's burying start showing signs of life.
I'll give it a shot.
You never know, it might be a Jupiter Ascending.
Who knows?
How dare you?
For better or for worse.
Jupiter Ascending is fun!
Pretty much anything the Wachowskis are involved with is in one way or another fun. Even if it doesn't entirely come together all that great, there's always something about them that's fun, in my opinion, at least.
If you're an action movie, you gotta either be good or you gotta be interesting. You can get away without being good if you're interesting.
Because honestly, Tim, the worst thing you can do with a lot of genre films, as far as I'm concerned, is be boring. Because being boring but competent to me is a much less rewarding experience than bad but interesting. And yeah, when it comes to what we get with The Force Awakens, thankfully, in my opinion, it's neither of that. I know that in hindsight, a lot of people rag on. Even at the time, people ragged on the film for basically being a remake of A New Hope. But I also understand why the demand was there, and clearly the demand was there, considering how successful the film was.
Because it rhymes.
It's like poetry, sort of.
When you actually think about it, every single first movie of a Star Wars trilogy is a low-key remake / homage, pastiche, whatever you want to call it, of Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress, because it's always some young woman getting caught up in shenaniganery with an older man mentor type who is going to die by the end. This is the way.
This is the way.
Truly. Yeah, it's a formula that I'm used to and was honestly kind of expecting. It is just kind of interesting, though, that I'm not going to bring up anything specific about the other films in this trilogy, I promise. But it is funny how people harped on this one in particular for being the least willing to take risks out of the three, and yet the score, if anything, is the most original out of the three, I would argue, from John Williams. I don't know, I just couldn't help but notice. No, this score is packed with new motifs, as if John Williams was just as excited as the new cast members were to be involved in Star Wars and try and bring something new to the table. It's like, wow, new characters, I can write new themes. It's great.
Speaking of older men, I can't believe that we haven't talked about one of the most under-known actors of this movie, Max von Sydow.
With his not-so-subtle meta-commentary of a first line of the movie. This will begin to make things right.
Max, you're lying to me. Max, I'm sitting here in 2025 and you lied to me. Max! Oh, you're dead. Damn.
I'm sure he believed it at the time.
I mean, it's very, unfortunately, easy to forget Max von Sydow because he's in one scene and then he dies.
Yep, he's not in the film for very long. And one of his last film roles, too, I believe. But yeah, I mean, the power of Max von Sydow right there is that he did leave an impression on me. Even if I didn't know who Max von Sydow was, I would still be like, that old guy's got a past. I don't know what, but he's got a story to tell, and we're sadly never going to hear it because he got axed off almost immediately. But I could sense a history in him.
What I wanted to see more of was Maz Kanata, because one, Lupita Nyong'o's clearly having a ton of fun playing her. Like, I love to see an Oscar winner in a role like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And she's doing all this fun shit with Maz. I have to believe the "where's my boyfriend" line about Chewie was an improv. Because that just feels like an improv.
I ship it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I ship it. And I want to see what other shit Maz Kanata gets up to, because her life seems super fun, but also she has these wonderfully tender moments. When she has that moment with Rey saying,
"Dear child, I see your eyes. You already know the truth. The belonging you seek is not behind you. It is ahead."
Oh my god, that for me is up there with Lupita's "You Are Mine" speech from the 2016 Jungle Book, which brings me to tears every fucking time.
To me, that was up there with "The past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it," from The Lion King. She doesn't speak much, but when she does, she's amazing.
Shout out to Lupita for being so good in voice acting as well as, you know, physical acting. Like,
she was
shout out to Us
too, I
honestly.
think.
Shout out to the movie Us. I'm still mad she didn't get an Oscar nom for that one.
Right.
It was like one of my favorite movies of that year.
She was excellent in that. And yeah, I mean, honestly, what was interesting was that I'd never heard her vocally be so intense before, like she is as Maz Kanata. So at first, I didn't even realize that was her voice. because of course her voice completely disappears into this dried apricot looking alien that she plays in the film.
She learned that at Yale School of Drama.
Clearly, because my God, I mean, I knew she was a good actor already because I'd seen her in a couple of the films already, but yeah, that was really, really something. And yeah, that intimate scene she has with Ray, that was such a beautiful scene. I completely forgot that I was technically looking at a CGI character. I just saw a real heart-to-heart moment between two real people right there, and it was beautiful.
That's
I
magic,
have
baby.
so much respect. It truly, truly is. Though I do feel like I need to bring up the fact that her character name is yet another example of Star Wars alien characters having the most ridiculous names ever, and they have an oddly quick Google search-based backstory as to where they probably came from. Maz Kanata almost sounds like the samba song Mais Canada, which is a very famous samba song. Even if you think you don't know it, you probably do. You've probably heard its refrain everywhere in pop culture.
Lupita's a really rare example of an actor who won an Oscar basically right out of the gate. The Oscars are really weird like that, so let's make a podcast about them. I think that she didn't flame out after she won her Oscar, and I think that this is one of the reasons why, like, this and Black Panther gave her the room to be able to just, like, not take roles just to stay famous.
Speaking of the Jungle Book and physical acting, Andy Serkis as Snoke.
Speaking of mocap performances that keep getting snubbed for Academy Award nominations for acting.
Yes.
Did he
Did he
get nominated for Gollum, or
no?
No.
He got an MTV award though.
And Gollum had things to say about it.
It is a complete marriage of skills.
You're a liar and a thief. It's mine. I won it. It was me. We only won because of me.
I would not have nominated Andy Serkis for Snoke in this movie. Maybe in a different movie that I'm not going to name. But yeah, it is kind of bullshit that we keep... He has one scene. Don't look at me like that, Sam.
I'm not saying anything.
The Academy does still have this extreme resistance to CGI performances. I don't know why. Maybe they're just as tired of James Cameron's shit as we all are.
Who knows?
I think it's because when it is voice acting, you don't get to see the actors like way up close and they're wrinkling their faces and the tears are coming down and you can't see how hard they are acting.
I never learned how to read!
There is stuff in this movie that feels like that. The moment where, like, that final duel on Starkiller Base, all three of the main combatants in it are bringing it. Like, there is so much going on in there. And I think it all kind of gets lost in the whole, oh my god, Han Solo just died thing. But, like, there is so much going on. It's so cool.
It's an incredible climax.
Truly. Like, honestly, I mean, as much as people do kind of make fun of why is Kylo Ren so specifically passionate about Finn's traitorousness to the First Order, but I don't care because of how much Adam Driver absolutely says the way he screams, traitor! The way that he does. It's so good. And the way that John Boyega screams in agony when the lightsaber's like burning into his shoulder like that, that's not acting to me. That is a guy who's actually being physically hurt, is what it sounds like to me.
Same with how he screams Rey's name when she gets yoinked, basically.
Right? Yeah, like, I believe that so much.
Kind of sucks how people just made that into a meme and used it to mock him because, like, that's his best friend. Kind of his only friend. And she came on all of this because of him. Of course he's devastated.
It feels like the 2010s equivalent of everyone making fun of Tobey Maguire's ugly crying as Peter Parker.
Leaf, are you trying to say that the internet has an issue with men being vulnerable?
Maybe.
I mean, the specific irony poisoning of memetics means that you kind of have to just strip something out so far out of its context to make it into a meme that any sincere emotion that was in it kind of gets lost. You know, the example I always go back to is everyone's seen the meme versions of the I drink your milkshake scene from There Will Be Blood. But, like, in context, with that performance, that scene is terrifying. That scene is bone-chilling.
I'll take your word for it.
I've seen it too. Can confirm, can support it.
Future episode of multiple pods, I'm sure. The frustrating thing about the Star Wars sequel trilogy is that while there are whatever actual complaints I have about them, whenever I do that, I basically have to point at half the internet and go, he is not associated with me. Because this is why I think that this was such an episode I wanted to be on, because like the discourse around these movies got toxic before they even came out. And
that's Star Wars for you.
I mean, there's a reason why I still maintain that I've been trying to cut Star Wars from my heart, unsuccessfully, evidently.
Damn Star Wars fans, they ruined Star Wars!
Entirely unironically, Sam. But there are moments in this trilogy, especially with the acting, that make me like, maybe the agony of talking about Star Wars is worth the occasional ecstasy of watching Star Wars.
Unfortunately, yeah, and a lot of it really does ride on, goddamn, this trilogy knows how to make you care about the characters.
Truly. I mean, that makes sense when you get the screenwriter of Little Miss Sunshine involved with this as well, on top of the talented cast that we've got here.
We haven't given him a lot of his flowers yet, because we kind of got... So let's talk a little bit more about Oscar Isaac, because goddamn, how do you be so charismatic that you basically bring your character back from the dead?
Yeah.
Because he's always rolling nat 20s on charisma.
Hey Sam, you know another actor who essentially did that?
Don't you?
You know what I'm gonna say, right, Sam?
It's
James
true.
Marsters on Buffy.
It's true.
Oh, I heard Sam. I'm sorry, Sam. I love you.
Whedon.
Yeah, I've adored Oscar Isaac with all of my heart in this movie. I wanted him to be my best friend.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more than a friend. Who knows? I'm still figuring that out.
Listen, I'm pretty sure Oscar Isaac transcends any sexual orientation, to be honest.
Oh, I've seen straight men absolutely lose their mind about him in Dune, which, you know what? I get it. I would.
What I really love about Oscar is that he embodies something I think is true of all three of the people I termed the sequel trilogy leads, which is Oscar and John and Daisy. I feel like each of them is bringing something of the OT trilogy into each of their characters. So, like, you know, we have that intro of like, so who talks first? You talk first. And that is pure Han Solo. But then you get stuff like, as long as there's light, there's hope. And that is Leia to a T. And even just saying to Finn, keep it suits you, that is something I can absolutely see Luke saying. For multiple reasons. I saw your Chanel boots, Luke Skywalker!
We all did, Luke. But no, seriously, like, it's just like, where did this romance novel boyfriend come from? How did he get into my Star Wars?
That's
Truly
almost like getting a Shakespearean actor to do, like, he's played Proteus, he's played Romeo, I think.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Not in the slightest. And also, yeah. I mean, I'll admit I'm not crazy about the who talks first, you talk first, I talk first, because that's very Joss Whedon to me, and I don't necessarily mean that as a compliment.
Well, yeah, no kidding.
At the same time, I feel like Isaac sells it better than a lot of other actors would, so credit where it's due.
He sells it, and I think that's also in part because you get the feeling that he really did his work in understanding, like, knowing that Kylo Ren is Ben Solo. Like, those two would have grown up together.
Mm-hmm.
So this is his childhood friend who has become a fascist, and it's like, no, I'm not going to give you the pleasure of me being scared of you. How are we fucking doing this?
Mm-hmm.
God, war fanfics need to take advantage of that, because that's actually a really fascinating dynamic that does not get explored enough, I don't think.
Truly.
I think that Oscar Isaac, and I don't want to, like, I don't know how to quantify this, so don't, like, fucking quote me or anything. I think of the core, at least the core trio, maybe even including Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac has worked the most consistently post Star Wars. Part of that is that, again, he was the most established going into it, but also, like, he's got the right mix of, like, he's a credible action lead, great heartthrob, extremely talented actor, and also he has that great mix of occasionally extremely good taste in movies and extremely bad taste in movies. He appeared in, like, Annihilation and Life Itself basically back to back.
Simultaneous good and bad taste. He's just like me, for real.
Or, to put it in animated movies terms, he does Spider-Verse, but he also does the Addams Family animated movies. And he is a perfect Gomez. He voices Gomez in the animated Addams Family movies. And say what you want about those, he is perfect as Gomez.
People have been fan casting him as a live action one for years, to the point where they were disappointed that he was only voice acting him.
I mean, like, Netflix could never afford him, but also they made an animated Addams fan. Never mind.
Chloe Grace Moritz this Wednesday.
We do not come for Luis Guzman. Luis Guzman did a great job.
Yes.
Agreed. He's good. Luis Guzman is good.
I think the most of the cast of the Wednesday series is extremely good. That is the end of that sentence.
Speaking of the Wednesday series, Gwendolyn Christie.
Gwendolyn Christie. My beloved.
Gwendolyn
Which,
Christie.
honestly, I think the only reason why people were willing to buy that she was, like, actually on screen and not just dubbing over is because of how tall she already noticeably is on screen relative to everybody else. It's just like, oh, she's actually wearing that suit. That's not just her voice acting.
But also, she just has that presence.
I love Gwendolyn Christie with all my heart and soul. If I were to write a list of complaints about Force Awakens, very high at the top would be, hey, you want to let Captain Phasma, like, be in the movie?
Yeah, they don't really let her actually do anything all that intimidating, and when she's defeated, it's kind of pathetic, so she ended up being the Boba Fett of the movie.
Wait, does that mean that we can have an animated introduction of her where she's riding a dinosaur in a lake of blood, or what looks like blood?
I say we ask that for a Life Day present.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to hear her voice, though. I mean, can't complain about that. Gwendolyn Christie, she is a remarkable presence, and I wonder how far she can step, shall we say. Sorry, what did I say?
We've all let her know when we're available.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a bit disappointing that Captain Phasma ended up being the Boba Fett of the movie. Like, cool character design, interesting idea, intimidating presence, all that good stuff, very merchandisable. Ultimately defeated in a rather disappointingly lame fashion, quite frankly. I mean, I know in the case of Boba Fett, they retroactively changed that, and I hope that they somehow managed to do that with Captain Phasma, but I don't know if they're going to.
Yeah, and also I have to say it was still very satisfying seeing Finn taunt her. It's just like, I'm in charge now. It's just like, yeah, you are, buddy.
Like 2 years removed from another version of that meme, like, you could easily have made that its own version of, look at me, I'm the captain now.
And honestly, like, given that this was when she was, like, heavily in the Brienne of Tarth era, this was, I think, part of what allowed her to start flexing me like, nope, I can do more than the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
She has a, like, I want to say, like, 2 or 3 episode role on season 2 of Severance. I don't know if anyone besides me watches that show. Extremely good show, kind of a nightmare. You should all watch Severance. She's in it.
All right. Try to remember that. It's always tricky in this world to keep track of all of the films and shows that are being made, because, of course, there's so much being made.
Is Severance on Poob?
It's on Apple TV.
It's on Apple TV, which I still have for sane and logical reasons, not because I rewatch Dickinson once every 6 months.
Ellie, you useless lesbian.
Leave me be. Let me have my filth.
If all else fails, there's totally not something to find on the high seas. Sorry, what did I just say?
Please excuse me, Ellie. Let me correct myself. You useless sapphic.
I can be both bisexual and lesbian. We can do both.
I don't want to know what you get up to on Wednesday nights.
According to this podcast, Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how, with Gwendolyn Christie's presence, it easily could have been what they did for Darth Vader in the original trilogy. You just hire an actor to wear the outfit on set and then dub and post with another actor. But, I don't know, it's fun knowing Gwendolyn Christie was actually there, considering that, again, it easily could have been just a voice cameo, and there's a whole bunch of other examples of voice cameos amongst the other stormtroopers throughout this movie. We already mentioned how Daniel Craig has a voice cameo in this, and apparently one of J.J. Abrams' regular collaborators, composer Michael Giacchino, also has a voice cameo as a stormtrooper in this somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was.
I think he was probably doing, like, immersion work in preparation for scoring Rogue One.
I'm imagining, like, immersion work for composing a Star Wars movie involves lying in, like, a sensory deprivation tank as they just blast it with Star Wars music.
That's almost too epic.
Trying to think of punny titles for the Force Awakens tracks now.
Oh yeah, because Michael Giacchino's whole thing is giving all of his musical cues dad joke titles, basically.
Almost all of them, because he legally wasn't allowed to do puns on one of those.
Yeah, I love the fact that the cue for one of the first big action scenes in The Incredibles is called 100-Yard Dash.
Guys.
Must we be neurodivergent on main here?
God.
Anyway, circling back. Who haven't we talked about yet?
Kevin Smith had a cameo.
Of course he did.
Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg's in this.
Playing the totally not a Jabba type that is, like...
At the totally not a GameStop.
Tito.
Enslaving Ray?
Indentured servitude.
Indentured servitude. You know, this amount of scraps is worth this much amount of food.
JJ's dad was in this. Shout out to his dad.
Unfortunately, as much as I love Simon Pegg as an actor, and I do, he's one of those actors who I have to sort of like look at the ceiling when I look through their filmography, especially their voice acting work in the last like 3 years, which thanks to 2 specific things. There's just a lot of British actors I just have to go, and I don't see it. I pretend I do not see it.
Moving along.
I want to mention, like, we talked a little bit about Domhnall Gleeson being a Nepo baby, but Billy Lord shows up, auditions for Rey, does not get it, and J.J. Abrams sits back and goes, you know what? You're in the movie anyway, and you get to wear your mom's buns.
That was very cute, though.
Listen, we gotta round out the rebellion a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she doesn't have a lot to do, but maybe it's because I was looking for her, like I knew she was there, and I was mildly fascinated with her in Scream Queen, specifically because I found out, oh, that's Carrie Fisher's daughter, that's why she's wearing the earmuffs like that.
Yeah.
But, like, it is still fun to see it, and there were those lovely pictures of her and Carrie behind the scenes.
I know.
And I'm glad that they had that to share with each other.
Yeah.
Ferb was in.
Honestly.
Wait, Ferb was in this? Ferb was
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
This is the most minor of minor roles.
Yeah, it's Darth Maul. Everyone knows that.
Another actor who who the creators loved so much that they had to revive her character, Maisie Richardson Sellers, who has like 3 seconds of screen time when the Coruscant gets blown up, is
it's
a main
not
actress.
Coruscant, it's Hosnian Prime.
Ellie, stop
City
committing Star
planet.
Wars lore sins!
She is a main actress on Legends of Tomorrow, who, for stupid time travel bullshit reasons, her character had to go back to the 1950s. So they, literally the next season, oh look, this shapeshifter is taking her face. And then getting stuck like that, because we just really wanted her back.
Oh boy. I mean,
sometimes
that almost
gender
sounds like-
euphoria comes from replacing somebody.
You know?
There's
Do a
a
bit.
thread. I'm trying to catch it.
I love you, Gillian.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Another, wait, what the fuck are they doing here? Ben Schwartz and Bill Hader being vocal consultants for BB-8.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Bill Hader.
What
really?
the fuck did that look like?
I can very vividly picture them making those beeps
And those boots.
with the wackiest looks on their faces.
Has anyone dubbed BB-8 with Jean-Ralphio and Stefan?
1,000%.
They should.
They should have. They could dub him with. Wait, which duck does he play in DuckTales again?
Dewey.
Dewey, yeah.
No, sorry, Turbo.
He could. Yeah, he could have been Turbo.
Well, speaking of Turbo, I mean, Alan Tudyk could have also been brought in for it as well, considering how Disney's been using him lately.
But he's not in this movie.
They saved him for the robot next time.
True.
I'm pretty sure that if I went into a specific basement at the building in which I work, I would just find the room where they keep Alan Tudyk until it's time to drag him out to voice another animal.
He went to Juilliard.
They feed him with a little, like, hamster water bottle.
I mean, honestly, though, with the thing about Ben Schwartz and Bill Hader, I could easily picture it as well, because I've seen behind-the-scenes footage of Ben Burt doing the same to create the voices of R2-D2 and Wall-E. So, and it's the same trick. You're just making basically baby babble beep and boop noises through a vocoder effect that's been hooked to a synthesizer patch that you've programmed, and from that you can create a whole bunch of electronic sounding Vocaloid things. It's very fun.
God, acting is amazing.
Wait.
I've done that stuff, for crying out loud. It's fun to do that kind of stuff. And I'll admit, the part that I remember seeing this on the big screen, one of the bigger laughs from BB-8 was, well, the biggest was giving the thumbs up with the lighter. But the other
We love BB-8.
The other was basically, I thought of it as a repeat of the introduction to the magic carpet in Disney's Aladdin, where it's just like, no, you can't come with us. Okay, fine, you can come with us.
And honestly, brings it back. Props to John and Daisy for playing opposite the inanimate object being puppeteered. Like, genuinely building a rapport. Like, Finn and BB-8 have a whole arc.
I love Michael Caine taught them a thing or two. I'm guessing Michael Caine was their teacher for that.
I really like the like behind the scenes stories of like BB-8, because like, you know, BB-8 is enough of a robot, like a physically controlled by someone else off-screen robot, that like he'll just be rolling through the hallways and your brain just sort of like, no, that's not a prop controlled by that dude in a cargo shorts over there, that's just BB-8. That's just BB-8. Come on.
That's just my good friend BB-8.
Like how people on talk shows will accidentally mic up the Muppet instead of the performer.
Oh yeah,
So
like even when you
friend-shaped.
see the puppeteer holding the puppet and moving their mouth while talking, your eyes instinctively still go to the puppet.
It's extremely funny that I read that happen once to Sam the dog, and I don't know if any of you have seen that particular Muppet off camera. It's just a rug.
Wait, hang on. You mean Rolf,
Sam
right?
the Eagle
Rolf
or
the dog,
Rolf?
yeah. Rolf the dog. I got confused. I need to sleep. No,
Star Wars
Rolf
said-
off camera just looks like a rug. It's a rug they sticking their hand in.
Speaking of rugs, speaking of walking carpets, this was the first time that Yuna Suotamo started filling in for Chewbacca and would eventually take over the role for Peter Mayhew, R.I.P. And, you know, maybe I'm just bad at noticing when, but it seems like he did a pretty good job, as did Ian White.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It was very seamless. It's still Chewie.
Yep, I wouldn't have noticed a change in performance at that point. Though I am glad that Peter Mayhew, in his waning years, got one last chance to play the part, because, I mean, I can't imagine that playing him initially was that much fun on the original Star Wars set, but I'm glad that he warmed up to it so much that he just would always say yes to an opportunity to do it again if asked, because he also got to play him again in Revenge of the Sith.
Of course he warmed up to it. That costume's really hot.
Right? Exactly.
Listen. I make no apology.
You will be. You will be.
You will be.
Jesus Christ.
No, I don't fucking. You don't scare me, Yoda. You spent like half a century ignoring the fact that there was a Sith Lord 5 feet from you. Bring it on.
He was cloaking!
He was building his house in the Dismal Swamp, obvious. If you know, you know.
I love you guys.
When it comes to reference material to the prequels, one that I still couldn't get out of my head that was made quickly after Force Awakens came out was when Rey gets the visions when touching the lightsaber. The bit where Kylo Ren, charges at her with the lightsaber. Someone replaced it with Jar Jar Binks saying, "Excuse me," before she fell back on the ground.
So, it has been a while since I have seen The Phantom Menace. That was not, in fact, made up for Heretic.
Oh, man. I mean, there are so many voice cameos that are already in here from both old and new that it's crazy. Like, the fact that they just brought in Ewan McGregor just to whisper, "These are your first steps."
Well, he happens to be available, and he was 5 minutes away from making an Obi-Wan show in his backyard with a handheld camcorder.
And lest we forget the oft-repeated voice cameos of voice acting legend Sheb Woolley as a dying stormtrooper. Yet again.
We gotta knock off using the Wilhelm scream so often. It's gotta be special again.
No.
It's gotta be special again.
No.
We need to save it for some stuff.
It's iconic.
No, that calls for a Wilhelm scream. Ah.
Instead, what we could do is take movies that don't have it and add it in where it makes perfect sense. Like, we need a remake of Titanic where everyone falling to their death is a Wilhelm scream.
Hang on. I've got an idea. We take everything that has a Goofy yell and we put the Wilhelm scream over that, and we put the Goofy yell over everything where there's a Wilhelm scream.
My God.
Ooh, honestly, that would have worked better. In that moment in Disney's Hunchback that totally broke the mood of that action scene, that would have been better served with the Wilhelm scream instead of the Goofy scream.
Star Wars could have used a Yahoo!
How have they not had Bill Farmer in a Star... Have they had Bill Farmer in a Star Wars? There was a really funny line in Amphibia that was, like, supporting the prequels, and now I gotta go find it.
I still can't believe you guys like the prequels more. Look, Ann, we just watched them in order with no context.
You can't blame us for not having nostalgia.
But, like, imagine what a mood killer that would have been, though, if Han Solo fell to his death with a...
Yeah, true, that would have been completely unbelievable, because that would suggest that Harrison Ford was having any kind of fun.
Well, oddly enough, this is one of the first movies I had seen in a really long time where it seemed like he was at least slightly having some fun, but I do wonder how much of that had to do with the fact that he finally got his wish for Han Solo, after George Lucas wouldn't let him.
He really thought that the end was in sight.
Just when he thought he was out, they pulled him back in.
Him and Daniel Craig should, start a support group for actors who want to leave their franchise.
Yeah, because at least Daniel Craig seems to be having fun being Benoit Blanc versus being James Bond.
He famously wanted it to end after Skyfall, and they kept dragging him back, and he was just like, please stop, I hate you.
He wanted it to end so badly, he got blown up by a bunch of missiles.
But he came back.
I got better.
Somehow James Bond returned.
I know there's a podcast called Kill James Bond out there, but this is ridiculous.
Oh my god, that explains why he looks so different every time. He's like Palpatine. James Bond is a Sith master like Palpatine. Oh, my third eye is open.
Well, yeah, I mean, he works for the British Empire.
He's a Time Lord.
Wait, I thought earlier when you said Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig, I was like, I want them to play an old married couple.
Yeah.
They're Statler and Waldorf.
Anyway,
any final actors that we want to shout out?
I miss you, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, but
for the new cast members.
Well, I'm not going to do like an extended tribute to the original cast, but it is kind of like one thing that sort of like depresses me about is like this is the last Star Wars release while Carrie Fisher was still alive.
Yeah, that is hard.
Yeah,
there's a lot of behind the scenes footage of Carrie like leading people and dancing and hugging. So I'm glad that they had her for their Space Mom starting this out, and I think that it feels like a lot of how this cast was able to survive as they were is because they had Carrie to inspire them.
It really seems like she kind of just took on the roles like, okay, these are the new kids. I'm your mom for the duration of this filming.
It doesn't matter that Oscar is like 15 years older than John and Daisy. You're all my kids now.
She looked at them and was like, is anybody going to parent them? And nobody answered.
I will say, we've been kind of dancing around the fact that this movie got a lot of this cast in general got a lot of extreme negativity online, which I'm sure we'll get even worse if we talk about later films. But Gwendolyn Christie was in a show that also got a lot of backlash as it ended. And I think that that show, I'm not gonna say the actors didn't get anything, but more that was mostly aimed at the writers and the directors when Game of Thrones finally bit the dirt. And I think that
because they wanted to do a Star Wars.
It's like poetry; it rhymes.
It is like poetry, right? And I think that one of the things that I like about this cast is they never felt like they should have to just sort of sit there and take it with a smile. I think that sort of erases a lot of the bullshit, makes people feel that what they're doing is okay, and I like that all of them were like, no, fuck off, leave us alone. Especially John Boyega. John Boyega, you're my number one guy.
I see him in interviews and I'm just like, you are so worthy of respect in my books. You are awesome. I wish I had the mental fortitude that you have got, man. I have no idea how, but I am amazed.
We all should really watch They Clone Tyrone already.
Yep.
Watch basically anything John Boyega is in. You're in for a great time when you are, because goddamn, that man is going places. He's got to be going places, and we cannot abandon him. Okay?
Nope.
I still hold out hope that there is still a chance for Daisy Ridley to manage to really become a huge deal as well.
Daisy Ridley seems to be happy with where she is. She's got her husband, she's got the projects that she wants to do. I can't fault her for wanting to do the projects that are actually going to give her joy and not give her an ulcer or anything. But John Boyega has 3 projects coming up, so keep an eye on those. Something called The Freshening, Attack the Block 2, and he's also playing Otis Redding, so who knows, Ellie, maybe you'll get to talk about him on your pod someday.
And, I hate to somewhat validate this particular source, considering how much it's ruined discourse and media literacy, but if there's one running gag from them that I wholeheartedly approve of, Andy Serkis isn't winning an Oscar in this scene. Ding!
Okay, we're gonna call it there. So, I would like everybody, both here in the pod and who is listening, to raise your colored milk of choice with me and say a toast to the actors of The Force Awakens who came in to a very, very difficult task and came out shining like stars.
Hell yeah.
Cheers, y'all. Force is with them.
All of them.
And also with you.
Now, as to whether the Force is with the 3 movies of the trilogy, well, that's for another time. So, until our next regular episode, stay safe, stay strong, stay beautiful, and may the Force be with you.